is up, y'all? Monday night football episode, concluding our week 2 takes. We got 2 games for this Monday night. Love it. Gonna have to have 2 screens on. We got the Browns versus Steelers and the Saints versus the Panthers. We're gonna give you guys 1 prop, 1 fantasy player for each game, and then we'll give you guys our score predictions for each game. Where EJ last night hit on his score prediction on the Eagles and Vikings game. Let's clap it up for that. Good job for EJ on that one. So let's hope we get more of those. Let's kick us off, my friend.
All right, y'all. So, to start off with this Monday doubleheader prediction, I love Monday doubleheader, man.
Prime
Kicking
time,
off
man.
the season.
2 games in prime time.
1 time every year. I'm so excited. So, believe it or not, both these matchups happened the same time last year as the Saints and the Panthers played in Week 3 and Week 17
That's crazy.
last year. And it's the same for the Browns and the Steelers. They both played each other Week 3 and Week 7.
That's actually
so,
insane.
to get on with the Saints and Panthers, my player prop is Bryce Young under 196 yards. Now, when I looked at this prop earlier in the week and it first came out, it was at 160. Now it's up to 196.
Yeah.
Last week against the Falcons defense, he had under 150 yards, and he had 143. The Falcons defense is good, but I think the Saints defense is better as they locked up Ryan Tannehill and gave him pressure. I think Bryce Young is kind of on that level as a rookie. So I got Bryce Young under 196 yards. If it keeps going up, feel more comfortable smashing that under on this player prop.
I like that. So for this game, for my player prop, man, I'm going to go Carr over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Okay.
Again, Carolina defense weak, or Carolina offense is weak. The whole team is weak, I should be honest. But they're playing a young Carolina defense overall. And with the Saints having an offense that should stomp over the Allied defense, Carr throwing 2 touchdowns to, like EJ said, Michael Thomas arose from the dead. And Chris Olave should be a favorite target, or maybe someone that's unexpected.
Shaheed.
Or
I think he had 2 touchdowns last week, bro. He looked good.
Or Taysom Hill. Don't forget about that, man.
I don't like touching Taysom Hill, bro.
Don't forget about that, man. I think
catching a touchdown. You think Taysom Hill catch? How would you think Taysom Hill scores?
catching a touchdown from Derek Carr.
You think
on
he
the
would
5-yard line? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Why not? But anyways, that's a safe bet for me. Take Carr over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I think he gets that.
Cool. All right, man. So those are our 2 props. I got Bryce Young under 196 yards, and he's got Derek Carr over 1.5 touchdowns. Put those together with these next 2 props that we're going to give you for the next game, but we're going to give you our fantasy players first for this one. So, my fantasy player for this game is Chris Olave. He's playing against a weak Panthers secondary as they lost their starting corner, J.C. Horn, and he is a true man-to-man lockdown corner. Huge J.C. Horn fan. Last week, he had 10 targets, 110 yards, and I believe, no, he did not get in the end zone, but he definitely scored over 15 points as he gave you 19 points. I think he is a start in your lineup this week, and he's number 1 overall wide receiver upside.
My fantasy player for this week, and I should say this with confidence, take the Saints defense. I think the Saints defense locks up Carolina. Bryce Young, too young, very unexperienced. That offense is weak, not strong. The Saints are going to have a field day with the Panthers. Again, Carolina is weak, and last week the Saints defense held Henry and the Titans to only 15 points.
Yeah, no touchdowns.
No touchdowns.
All field goals. They kicked 5 field goals.
Expect them to have an even bigger game versus this young Carolina team. So take the Saints defense, pick them up on your waiver wire now.
If they're available, stash them for the year.
You need the Saints defense on your team. They have a fairly easy schedule this year. And trust me, you want their points.
You got to think, they still play the Bucks twice, play the Panthers again, and have to play the Falcons twice, who threw the ball 18 times last game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Saints defense.
Take the Saints defense.
It's a lot, man. All right, so overall prediction of the game. I hope this one goes as good as the last. And my prediction is 26-15 Saints. Like I said, their top corner, J.C. Horn, is out. Derek Carr had over 300 yards in his first game playing against a Titans defense under Mike Grable, who I like as a coach, the former Patriot.
Yes, sir.
And now he's playing the Panthers defense, who is not as strong. And I think Derek Carr just gets more comfortable in his system. They air that ball out.
Yep.
And also that Saints defense is going to give the Panthers trouble because they have a defensive-minded head coach in Dennis Allen. So they will be eating up on that rookie quarterback, winning the game 26-15 over the Panthers.
Good take. I think the Saints also win this game. However, I think it'll be a little closer. I think the Saints win 21-14. Saints hold this Carolina team to 14 points. Again, the Saints defense is strong, but the rush defense is not that strong. However, I think Miles Sanders will get into the end zone this game. He should get into the end zone this game. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't see why not. He wouldn't. But, again, Saints edge this one out. I think a lot of strange things happen in this game, such as weird fumbles, weird turnovers, maybe a safety or two. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that this game is tight. It is a division game. Mostly division games are tight, unless it's the Eagles and Cowboys, which the Eagles just fly high.
Yes, sir, baby. Yes, sir. Now you're speaking my language.
The Saints, now here's also, the Saints are slow on offense, but the defense prevailed with a win over the Henry-led Titans. So, again, I think they have a decent game overall, but Bryce Young needs to find his groove still in the league, but it won't happen.
He doesn't have weapons either, bro.
It won't happen versus Saints defense.
DJ Chark and Adam Thielen.
I respect the Saints defense very highly, so Saints win 21-14.
Cool. Good take. I like it. Glad we agree on that. And not a super high scoring game either.
No, I know.
But Saints control the whole time.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Moving on to our next game. Browns at Steelers. And man, this is an AFC North matchup. And I had to look deep in this game to feel comfortable with my pick and how things are going to go. But to start off with our player prop, I'm going to go with Elijah Moore over 37.5 receiving yards. And the reason I'm going to do this, I didn't really have to look too much into it because Brandon Ayuk had a huge game last week.
Yep.
He's the number 2 receiver, so they will be playing coverage to Amari Cooper just like they were last week to Deebo Samuel. Ayuk plays in the slot. Moore got moved all around and plays in the slot. He's the primary slot receiver.
Yep.
He got 8 targets last week. Okay? So he led the team in targets, and he had 43 yards. You need him to go over 37.5. All right? And I think he definitely hits that against the Steelers' defense.
I like that. For my player prop for this game, Deshaun Watson over 25.5 rush yards. Now, when I took this down, this was a few days ago. All right? Could have went up. I see why it would go up. Because last week he had 45, and
He looks spry.
he looked good. Now, Cincinnati, it was in the rain. Before every Browns game, check the weather conditions. Always
Please.
check. If it's raining, this prop is clutch. Believe me on that. And also, I think the Steelers' defense is just confidence shot. They got manhandled last week. Manhandled. Obviously, they played one of the best teams in the league, the San Fran 49ers. But their confidence is shot, I think. Because, well, usually when you only put up 7 points on offense and you lose, what? They give up like 30 points or something to San Francisco. The next game out, it's going to be tough. And the Browns...
It's back-to-back home games, bro.
And the Browns looked great last week. So...
They did. Their defense and running the ball.
Deshaun Watson will have some rushes, and I think that they're going to be large.
So, moving on to my fantasy player. I like that prop because I think Deshaun Watson could also be scrambling around because they have a good defensive coach, and the D-line can be getting to him, forcing Watson to use his legs.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I like that prop a lot. So, another thing with our fantasy players on this game. My fantasy player for this game is Nick Chubb. If the Browns watched their tape, then they could see that 49ers ran the ball efficiently with CMC. He's a top-notch running back. So is Nick Chubb. I believe Nick Chubb had 16 points last week, if I have that correct. And CMC had 27. I got him with a team and Mahomes on the same team. It's amazing. So I think Nick Chubb gets in the end zone this week. I think the Browns will be able to run the ball on that Titans. And if it comes down goal line and they feel the need to score in this nitty-gritty game because it's going to be close, they're going to punch the ball in and not put the ball through the air and want to get that ball over the end zone.
Yep.
So I got Nick Chubb.
I like that. So for my fantasy player, Browns defense. I'm going defensive-minded for these slated games. Here's why. They shut out one of the best offenses last week. One of the best offenses in the league. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon. They shut them out. Okay? In an amazing game. Also, Myles Garrett is going to punish this week's Steelers O-line. Myles Garrett.
I think, okay.
Myles Garrett looks like a dog this year. Okay? So, listen.
It's a dog pound, baby.
Browns defense is safe for this one game, I say. Steelers, again, they're confident shot. Their offense is not clicking at all. I didn't see anything from their hype train about Kenny Pickett, George Pickens. No.
Preseason champs.
I didn't see anything that people were saying to watch out for. Yeah, I'll watch out for 7 points. Cool. That's great. I don't care. Steelers suck. Browns defense.
Man, dude.
Browns
Give it to
defense.
'em.
Browns defense are going to trample over this division rival. And they're going into Steelers County. Browns play amazing in Steelers County in recent years. So, I like the Browns defense. Fantasy play for me.
So last year, the Browns lost the game at home and the Steelers won in the Browns' house, and it was the other way around.
Yeah.
The Browns won in the Steelers' house.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So, and once again, just like last year with the Panthers and Saints game, the Browns and the Steelers played each other on week 3 and then played each other on week 17. So, once again, these games are happening in the same week, which is pretty crazy. I wonder if that's through the NFL's formula. But let's go on with score prediction, all right? I got the Browns controlling this game, but the Steelers keeping it tight. And I got the Browns winning 23-22. Now, hear me out. The reason I like the Browns to struggle a little bit and the Steelers to keep it nice and tight is their best lineman, Jack Conklin, is out for the Browns.
Oh.
He tore his ACL and his MCL.
Crap.
Okay? And following that, missing their best lineman, TJ Watt last week had 3 sacks and 5 QB hits against the 49ers. Trent Williams is on the 49ers. One of the best linemen in the entire game. So, I think TJ Watt is going to be causing trouble with Jack Conklin not on the field.
I see
That's
that.
why I like your Deshaun Watson player prop for over rushing yards. Because I think TJ Watt is going to be on his behind.
So, okay.
Also,
I see it happening.
Another thing is the Steelers are going to somehow blow it because 4 out of the last 5 Septembers, the Steelers have had 1 win.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers have had 1 win in 4 out of the last 5 Septembers. That's 4 of the last 5 years. When they get through the month of September, they have 1 win. So I think they lose too.
They also don't look strong.
They looked horrible last week. They got mopped.
So,
like the 49ers wiped the floor.
I'm not sold on the Steelers, just like I said in my season predictions. I'm not sold on them at all.
They're not winning. But
I'm just not. But
23-22 Browns.
For my score prediction, I have the Browns winning 29-18. Browns embarrassed talented Cincy last week. Embarrassed them. And with that massive momentum, with the defense playing an amazing game, they have the upper hand versus weak Steelers team. And they got punched in the mouth. Straight up in the mouth. They got beat up just like EJ beats up his opponents. But in my opinion, one, if not the best team in the NFL. Okay? So they beat up one of the best teams in the NFL last week. They're going to manhandle the Steelers. Don't get me wrong on that. Now, the Steelers score 18 points because of field goals and maybe 1 or 2 lucky touchdowns. But
the home crowd.
Browns get the win versus a confident shot Kenny Pickett. And Kenny Pickett is a bust. He's not that guy.
Hear that? So, those are our predictions.
Also, our 4 prize pick props together for a 4-leg. And let's hope they hit, because I think they will.
Apply for insurance. Go 3 for 4.
Always apply for insurance.
Always.
Especially with me. Apply for insurance. Okay? Always apply for insurance. I always do, because I'm just not. I do hit, but when I don't, that insurance comes.
We went 5 for 6 last week. Apply for insurance.
I love it. All right. Catch y'all next week.
Peace.